Chosen ones, in recent days, spiritual warfare has become a reality for many of us. Being chosen often means having to leave friends and family to follow your spiritual path. This can feel painful and even lonely. These challenges strengthen you and lead to true peace and clarity. Many of us believe that choosing between friends and family and the spiritual path is not important, but this is a misconception. At first glance, it may seem that our relationships with loved ones are not related to our spiritual development. However, this is far from the truth. Choosing the right environment is extremely important for our spiritual growth. The people we spend time with can either support us on our spiritual journey or hinder us. When we are surrounded by people who do not understand or accept our spiritual values, it can slow our progress and even lead us off the path. Consider the story of Joseph from the Bible. His brothers sold him into slavery out of jealousy and hatred, but God used this situation to bring Joseph to great blessing. Joseph had to leave his family to fulfill God's plan for his life. Similarly, in our lives, there may be people who try to hold us back, interfere with our spiritual development, or even harm us. Leaving such people may seem painful, but it can bring long-awaited peace and the opportunity to grow spiritually. God helps to break free from addictions and restore life after breaking toxic ties. Many people testify how God helped them break free from addictions and restore their lives after they stopped associating with toxic people. This confirms that our environment plays an important role in our spiritual journey. Choosing the right people around us helps us stay true to our spiritual principles and reach greater heights in spiritual development. What do you think? Can your environment influence your spiritual path? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Have you ever noticed that your environment affects your spiritual state? How did you cope with it? When we face life's difficulties and challenges, we often turn to various spiritual sources for comfort and guidance. The Bible offers numerous examples of how God's help comes to us in the darkest moments of our lives. Let us recall the words from Psalm 23, "For, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." These words remind us that even when we go through the darkest periods of our lives, God is always with us, providing support and comfort. Spiritual teachings and scriptures have a profound impact on our lives, especially when we feel lost or hopeless. For example, a person diagnosed with premature menopause at a young age began their spiritual journey and prayed for a miracle of healing. Despite medical forecasts, they experienced a miracle as their body began to heal, and they were able to live a full life again. This case clearly shows that spiritual practices and prayers can have a real impact on our physical and emotional lives. Using various sources of spiritual knowledge helps us not only cope with difficulties, but also find new ways for growth and development. When we read sacred texts or listen to wise teachings, we draw strength and inspiration to overcome any obstacles. Stories of miracles and healing strengthen our faith and give us hope that we too can overcome our difficulties with the help of spiritual practices. Now, let's consider how choosing the right environment can change our lives. When we embark on a new spiritual path, there are many approaches to managing our relationships. Some of these approaches can be ineffective and even harmful. For example, trying to maintain all old connections despite the new spiritual path often proves unsuccessful. Many people try to hold on to past relationships, hoping it won't affect their spiritual growth. But the reality is that our environment significantly influences our inner state and spiritual development. An example of this can be seen when someone tries to quit drugs and stop associating with people who support harmful habits. Such individuals may start attacking them, criticizing their decisions, and even pressuring them to return to old habits. In these situations, there often arises a need to leave home or sever ties with toxic people to find peace and stability. This difficult but important decision helps maintain spiritual integrity and continue progressing on the chosen path. Another common but ineffective approach is ignoring changes in one's environment. Many hope they can maintain old relationships without being influenced by negative factors. However, in practice, this often leads to internal conflicts and stress. People around us may not understand our new spiritual aspirations and may try to pull us back to old habits and beliefs. This creates additional pressure and hinders spiritual development. It is crucial to recognize that the right environment plays a key role in our spiritual journey. Trying to hold on to connections that pull us back only complicates our spiritual work. We need to surround ourselves with people who support our choices and help us move forward. Do you have examples from your life where your environment significantly influenced your spiritual path? Share your experiences and thoughts. Setting personal boundaries is an important aspect of spiritual growth and overall well-being. Personal boundaries help us protect our inner space and energy from negative influences, allowing us to stay true to our values and goals. When we clearly define and uphold our boundaries, we create a healthy environment for spiritual development. Choosing the right people to support our spiritual journey is also crucial. An environment that understands and respects our path helps us grow and evolve. These are the people who inspire, support, and help us overcome challenges. Choosing such people requires a conscious approach and careful analysis of their influence on us. Pay attention to their values, behavior, and attitude toward your spiritual journey. Due to past traumas and triggers, you might feel uncomfortable around family or old friends. Sometimes, past wounds can resurface when interacting with loved ones who do not understand or support your spiritual path. In such cases, it is important to maintain distance to protect your health and inner peace. Setting boundaries helps avoid unnecessary stress and conflicts, allowing you to focus on your spiritual development. If you feel that certain people or situations negatively affect your well-being and spiritual state, do not hesitate to set boundaries and distance yourself. This does not mean you have to completely sever ties, but establishing certain limits and restrictions can help maintain your emotional and spiritual well-being. Solitude can play a significant role in spiritual growth. While many people may view solitude as a negative state, it can actually become an essential stage in personal and spiritual development. Solitude provides an opportunity for deep self-reflection, meditation, and introspection. During this time, we can better understand our true desires, goals, and values, freeing ourselves from external distractions and focusing on our inner world. Losing all friends and family does not necessarily mean the end of the road. On the contrary, it can mark the beginning of a new phase in your life. In moments of solitude, you can find inner peace and tranquility, continuing your path alone. Many great spiritual leaders and sages have spent time in seclusion to achieve higher levels of awareness and understanding. Methods for coping with the feeling of loneliness can include meditation practices, journaling, prayer, and physical exercise. Meditation helps calm the mind and find inner peace. Journaling allows you to express your thoughts and feelings, promoting self-analysis and awareness. Prayer can be a source of comfort and connection with higher powers, and physical exercise helps keep the body in shape and strengthens the spirit. It is also important to remember that solitude is a temporary state. Over time, you may meet people who share your spiritual interests and support your path. But while you're in solitude, use this time for self-discovery and spiritual growth. Solitude can be a powerful tool for developing inner strength and realizing your true essence. So the path of the chosen ones is often difficult and full of trials. One of the main challenges they face is misunderstanding and hostility from those around them. People may not accept their spiritual path, criticize their choices, and even try to hinder their development. Such attitudes can cause feelings of loneliness and isolation, but it is important to remember that these are temporary difficulties that can be overcome. Another challenge lies in the constant struggle with temptations. On the path of spiritual growth, situations often arise that can distract from the true path and cause a deviation. Temptations can take various forms, from material attractions to the desire to revert to old habits. It's crucial to learn to recognize these moments and find the strength to resist them. Physical and emotional trials are also an integral part of the chosen path. Illnesses, fatigue, depression, and other problems can hinder spiritual development. In such moments, it is important to remember the power of prayer and faith, which can support and heal. Prayer not only helps find inner peace, but also strengthens the spirit, enabling one to cope with difficulties. Practical advice for overcoming difficulties includes several key aspects. Firstly, it is essential to find support from like-minded individuals. A community of people who share your spiritual values can be a source of inspiration and support. Secondly, regular practice of meditation and prayer is necessary. These practices help strengthen inner strength and maintain a connection with higher powers. Additionally, it is important to learn forgiveness and patience. Praying for enemies and enduring their attacks is part of the spiritual test. Forgiveness helps release negativity and maintain inner peace. Patience, in turn, allows one to cope with hostility and criticism without losing spiritual balance. One should also remember the importance of physical health. Regular physical exercise, proper nutrition, and self-care help maintain overall tone and energy. A healthy body contributes to a healthy spirit, so it is crucial to pay attention to physical well-being. For the chosen ones, it is also vital to stay focused on their spiritual goals. Constant reminders of one's values and mission help stay on course and cope with any difficulties. Creating visual reminders, such as images or quotes, can serve as sources of motivation and inspiration. Ultimately, it is important to understand that all difficulties and trials are part of the spiritual journey and help us grow and develop. Accepting these challenges with gratitude and understanding their significance makes us stronger and wiser. Every obstacle overcome brings us closer to our highest goal and helps achieve spiritual perfection. Spiritual warfare can be especially challenging when your loved ones do not understand or support your path. Close people can have both positive and negative influences on your spiritual development. Understanding their role and building the right relationships is an important aspect that allows you to continue your spiritual journey with minimal obstacles. Loved ones can support your spiritual path by showing tolerance and respect for your beliefs and practices. Support can come in various forms, from genuine interest in your spiritual journey to active participation in some aspects of it. When loved ones show respect for your spiritual choices, it helps you feel confident and at peace. They can be a source of moral support, helping you overcome difficulties and stay on the chosen path. However, loved ones do not always understand and accept your spiritual changes. This can lead to conflicts and misunderstandings. Some people may try to dissuade you from your chosen path, considering it wrong or incomprehensible. In such situations, it is important to remain calm and patient, explaining your beliefs and motives. Try to convey why your spiritual path is important to you and how it positively affects your life. If loved ones continue to have a negative impact, it may become necessary to temporarily distance yourself. This does not mean breaking off relationships, but rather creating space for self-discovery and spiritual growth. Distancing can help you maintain inner peace and focus on your path. In such cases, prayer for the right decision and guidance can be an important tool. Ask God for wisdom and strength to deal with such situations and find the right words and actions. Building relationships with loved ones so they do not hinder your spiritual path requires open and honest communication. Explain to them that your spiritual path is important to you and that you expect their support and understanding. Give examples of positive changes that have occurred in your life thanks to spiritual practice. Try to involve them in some aspects of your path so that they can better understand your point of view. It is also important to remember the need to show tolerance and respect for their beliefs and opinions. Mutual respect and support can create a favorable atmosphere for your spiritual growth. If loved ones see that you respect their opinions, they are more likely to support you. Spiritual warfare is not only a struggle with external enemies, but also an internal overcoming of doubts and fears. Support from loved ones can become a powerful resource on this path, but even if you face misunderstanding, remember that you are not alone. Your spiritual practices and faith will help you overcome any difficulties. The spiritual path requires personal boundaries, choosing the right environment, and patience in difficulties. Support from loved ones is important, but sometimes distance is needed for self-discovery and growth.